let's unhaul some books. I have these books in the world's loudest reusable tote bag. So let's reach into my bag of treasures. First, we have Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, which is the third book in the Farseer trilogy. I don't like this edition, and I think I have a full-sized paperback, I believe, of this edition. So, oh, and all of these books, I'm giving them away. I'm giving them away to people in my area because it's difficult to come by English language books. So, okay, yeah. Okay. Where I didn't think this through. I don't know where I'm gonna put the books. I guess I'm just throwing them on the floor. Okay. Next we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Yes. I've tried to read this book quite a few times over the years. Well, not quite a few times. Maybe like once or twice. I just think I missed the era of life in general, but specifically of my life, where I would have been able to enjoy this. And I bought it apparently in 2019. Girl, it's 2025. It's 2025. If I ain't read it yet, I'm probably not going to read it. And someone else is probably going to read this, and it's going to be their all-time favorite book because this is so many people's favorite book. And also, I'm sorry, I hate this. Oh my God, that's so... I mean, that was cute, like in the early 2000s with the little weird no. Next, we have one of the 2 or 3 books that I don't know where the dust jackets are. I don't remember taking them off. This is Children of Blood and Bone by Tony Adeyemi, I believe. I have no desire to read this, especially seeing that a lot of people don't like the books that come after this, so they fell in love with these characters and then they just seem to be totally different people further on in the series. Girl, no, it's not that serious. No. But that's cute. That's cute. Okay. Next we have an empty can of Coke Zero in my bag. Next, we have Walt Whitman, Poetry and Prose. So I not used to, because I still am very, very big into poetry. It is such a huge part of who I am as a human being. I don't really talk about poetry that I consume here because, I mean, I feel like there's not really much to discuss in a singular poem or even a collection of poems. But the reason I'm getting rid of this is I've had this for maybe 10 years now, and I have yet to ever sit down and truly, I don't know, like read through it like I should. The only thing I read from Walt Whitman that's in here is Leaves of Grass. And yeah, it's amazing, but I just feel like I don't need this. And also, someone from my past is the person who bought this, and I don't need it on my shelf. I don't need that JoJo. Get this out my house. Okay. Next, we have The Warded Man and the Desert Spear by Peter V. Brett. I believe in the UK, this is called The Painted Man. So I actually really enjoyed the concept of this. This follows a society where basically demons come back because they used to be fucking people up back in the day. But they had to basically rediscover how to protect themselves from these demons because at night they kind of just like rise out of the ground and they fuck people up. So they learned how to use these wards to keep the demons, away from like their houses and their towns or whatnot. And then just like the title implies, there's a man who's like, okay, so what if I put the wards on my body? Like how does that work? So I had a very similar issue with this series that a lot of other people have. It kind of, the execution isn't there. It's a really awesome concept, but it becomes extremely repetitive at like the 50% mark. And also the brutality towards the female character in this book didn't really make any sense. It just felt like it was there for shits and giggles, which is weird. I don't know. And I believe this is the second book, The Desert Spear. Yeah, this is book 2 of the Demon Cycle. Yeah, I'm just uninterested. Someone else, I'm sure, will enjoy this. Next, we have The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. First of all, this is a gorgeous book, and it's the first book I ever owned that had sprayed edges. This is one of the OG girlies to have the sprayed edges. When this book had come out, it came out in 2013. She was setting a trend. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. So this is one of like the OG booktube faves. So I've heard this book pitched probably like 300 times in my lifetime. Still can't tell you what it's about. I hope I didn't pay full price for this, because this book is like 27 some dollars. And back when I heard about this book, I ain't had 27 some dollars to be spending on the book. But somebody else, I'm sure, is going to really enjoy this. I think also I've just kept it for so long because it is so pretty. But yeah, if I haven't read it in the past like 10 or so years, I'm probably never going to read it. Next, we have a really gross copy of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I know I bought this secondhand to begin with. And so my secondhandness on top of the already existing secondhandness, yeah, that's why I'm not selling these books. I'm just going to give them away to people. So The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, I'm not going to give you a synopsis because I'm sure you know what it's about. But yeah, I'm just very... I was not entertained. Like, okay, it's cute. It's fun. It's quirky. You did everything perfectly your entire life and you had a crush on a girly at one point. I don't understand why we needed this many pages to talk about that. Okay. Next, we have Lover Eternal by J.R. Ward. Is this the first book in this series? So I read like the first maybe 3 or 4 books in this series. I don't know why I have a physical copy of it, because I'm sure I read almost all of, yeah, I read all 3 or 4 books in this series because it's way longer than just 3 or 4 books, girl. Up until like a few years ago that I know of, she was still publishing in this series. And these books, I think, were first published in the 90s. Oh, no, maybe I'm lying. This says 2006. But either way, I don't know why I have this. I read them all on an e-reader. I guess I just saw it at a thrift store and bought it. I don't know. Y'all already know how I feel about Gillian Flynn in Dark Places specifically. Try again. This is... Oh! Next, we have The Crowned Game by Evelyn Skye. Once again, just kind of... I didn't read this in the right era of my young adulthood. This came out in 2016. If I would have read it around that time, I think I would have enjoyed it. But I do remember hearing almost only positive things about this book. And it's a series, right? I think it's a series. So I don't know. Maybe if I do ever want to read it, then I'll listen to the audiobook or find a digital copy to consume. I just don't need this on my bookshelf. I'm not going to pick it up probably ever. The next one makes me so sad. So I want to say it was last year, so 2024. I read almost all of Sally Hepworth's books, but this is the story. This is Darling Girls. This is the book that I first learned about Sally Hepworth. So everyone was saying how amazing and wonderful this book was. And so I did this thing in my head where I was like, okay, if this is her best book, I'm going to read all of her other stuff so that by the time I get to this, I'm saving the best for last. No, this was not good. This was by far my least favorite Sally Hepworth. And it's just a bummer because I bought it because I just knew I was going to love it. And so this is literally the only Sally Hepworth book that I own physically, and it's my least favorite. And now I'm getting rid of it, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad about it. Last but not least, I don't have a good explanation for this. I don't. A girlie was in the Dollar Tree about 6 or 7 years ago, and they had books, as you guessed it, for $1. Pause. So I haven't lived in the States in a few years. I heard that the Dollar Tree now sells things that are more than $1. That's interesting and depressing. So I bought Wrath of Empire by Brian McClellan. I haven't read a single book by this author, and what's interesting is it's number two. It's the second book in the Gods of Blood and Powder series. I will say, I bought this during like the peak of my adult epic fantasy reading. And so I was definitely willing to go and find the first book and read the first book in the series and then, get to this. I just never have. Once again, that was like 6 or 7 years ago. And so there's So there's no point in me holding on to this. Okay, I feel like the longer I look at it, the more I'm like, maybe I should keep it. What is it about? What is this series about? Let's see. Hopefully, I'm not spoiled for something. And a country in turmoil. That's usually the dealio. With the capital city occupied, Lady Flint and her soldiers push 500,000 refugees on the march looking for safety on the tumultuous frontier, but escaping war is never easy, and soon the battle may find them, whether they are prepared or not. Okay, hold on. I just realized I guess the dust jacket is on upside down. I've never taken this dust jacket off, but like that's funny. But Lady Flint, one of the girlies got soldiers riding out for her. Hold on there. Hold on there. We might have gotten a little sunshine. Not me considering keeping a book that's the second in the series and I've never owned the first one. I don't know. Let's see. Somebody has stood at the bottom of a narrow flight of steps. Their head been tilted towards the light. They heard the birds. A lot of eyeing and shouldering and staring. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just get rid of this. Okay, if you see this on my shelves at the end of this year, if you see this on my shelves at the end of the year, you ain't heard Nan word whisper a song about me buying the first one, please call me out on it, because I might have to put this back on my shelf. The girlie riding out with the soldiers. She riding out with the soldiers. Okay, that is that. Thank you for helping me unhaul these books. It's springtime. New things. We need to get rid of the old things, bring in some new things, because, we cannot participate in a capitalistic society without getting new things to replace the old things. And honestly, today, if I'm not too tired, I literally might be buying a new couch. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Is there anything that you are getting ready to unhaul, or anything that you're on the fence about? Let me convince you to get rid of those books. So tell me what it is in the comments so I can tell you, no, girl, it's not worth it. Let it go. Let it go. That was so good. I literally might get a copyright strike. Oh my god. Okay, TTYL. Bye. Bye. Bye.